Today we're making polka dots. And the best way to get yourself started is to make a grid and have something to trace to make your polka dot. I'm using a nickel, but you can use anything. If you haven't seen these already in one of the advertisements yet, they're kind of an example of what you can produce with this process. And you know, these were all done. Hey, Gummy, it's you. Okay.
Yeah, finally, I managed to get it onto my laptop instead of my telephone. So,
Hi, Sue.
hi.
And so, yeah, these are different
See how I-
examples of what we can produce with really the same technique, just different size circles done on a grid. So to get yourself
Okay.
started, draw yourself the grid on your piece of paper. And if you don't have a ruler, you can just eyeball it. It's just to give yourself a frame to work off of.
Yeah, no, I'll get the ruler.
I mean, I like to use a ruler, but some people need a little more freedom than that. And really, it's just to give
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, no.
No, not working out that way.
Artistic freedom. No. I'm thrilled with a grid.
And then also another thing to have on hand is something to trace for your circle. So I'm using a nickel, but you know, like this was a shot glass. For these ones, I just
have a spool of thread.
yeah.
So do we want all our circles to be the same diameter?
Yeah. I mean, they don't have to be. If you're feeling your pattern would be more interesting by doing different sizes, you certainly could do it that way. You can do them in multiple different ways. Like these ones, I line them up directly on top of each other, whereas these ones, sorry, grab this page, I staggered them instead, you see? And the point of the grid is to give you an idea of where you want to place your dot so that it'll be consistent across it. So you can either put them on the crosshairs, or for the one that I'm doing this time, I put them directly in the squares. It's just the whole point of the grid is that it gives you a consistent placing across the whole page.
Okay. Well, it might if I got the grid straight, but
Well, I mean, this is just for fun. It doesn't have to be a perfect pattern.
Oh, trust me, honey, it's not.
The other benefit too is it's good to practice tracing circles. It's hard to do circles, and just the more you do them with your hands, the easier they get. And like finding different circles around your house that you can use for different options. So another way you can also think about things once it comes down to coloring in time, you know, I kind of did the obvious with most of these, which was color in the polka dot. Whereas for the one I'm doing tonight, I'm coloring behind the polka dot. So thinking about the reverse space versus the contained space.
Yeah.
Very good.
I like that.
What did everybody pick for the tracing shape? I know you got the spool of thread with.
Well, I took a nickel because I found it in my pocket.
Quarter. I took the top to the little plastic lid to my sage bottle.
Perfect.
Cool.
How about you, Darlene? What's your circle?
I'm using nickels, dimes, and quarters.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
She's going to give us a variety.
Yep.
That's what's so fun about this. Like, I kind of knew that this one would look a little bit more all the same than last week's, but it's still going to look different.
I have to tell you a funny story about Cheryl.
Ooh.
So last week, a week ago today, we were on a late Zoom call that was a lot of way too much talking for that time of night. And all I could see was Cheryl's head down like this. And so in chat, you can send a private message so that nobody sees it except the person you're sending it to.
So you told her to wake up?
No, I said, Cheryl, are you working on your art hangout? Because I am.
Yes, we were. I mean, that's perfect in two ways. Help the meeting go faster and it gave you something to do.
Yes.
This was really
Okay.
a foundation builder for next week. Like we got comfortable with knowing the grid. We got comfortable with placing things on the grid. So what we can take from that, now that we have this, here's a grid, here's how you repeat a pattern across it. You can swap out the polka dot for basically anything you want. All of these were done using the same style of technique, just making a different pattern. This one's done. So what you can think about for next week is, what kind of shape do you like? Like, do you want to do a cute little fish with bubbles? Or were you really feeling the circle tracing? Want to do another repeating pattern based on circles? Or for this one, I don't know if anybody kind of collects those stamps that were really popular. I seem to have accumulated a collection of those stamping stamps. So I use that to make my.
Oh my God.
You have
Yes,
those?
I have.
So you might
I
want to
have
bust those
stamps
out
and
for next
stamps.
week.
My mother-in-law used to make cards.
It's a lot easier if you pick a pretty simple shape, like something silly like this fish. But if you want to make it more complex, but still keep it easy on yourself, you can include more shapes. Like all of these are still quite simple shapes, but there's a lot of them. So it looks like a more complex pattern.
Oh, okay, yeah. Was that a stamp?
No, these are just, I scribbled these in.
You did?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, and it's pretty easy
Wouldn't mind
to do
yours.
because you're sticking to the grid, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, I knew for the heart that I would just have to do both sides on either side of the grid mark. Same with the star.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And then this is really just a repetition of what we're doing with polka dots, but instead of spacing them out, I put them over top of each other. Oh, Lorraine's gone. She
Yeah.
needs to get going.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
Or want to show off what they got to so far?
Sure.
Really, I've only done this so far.
Well, that's a good beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to, I had not done last week's monochromatic thing yet. I had chosen red, but I couldn't hold my head forward without my nose dripping. And
Yeah.
so I opted out of the class, but I will complete that one too, because I saw what you guys did. It was pretty cool.
That one was pretty fun. Are you going to use
Yeah.
different colors, Darlene, or just those colors?
Just those colors. And this is my last week's.
Oh, hey,
Oh, cool.
look.
Very pretty.
It's
Oh,
beautiful,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm using all of those colors right now, and it's great.
Cool.
I like how yours is concentric circles, Wit. Very different approach.
Went really like, well, I've been thinking about this all week, so I was like, ooh, how similar like how in line with what you're describing, but far away at the same time can I be with like
Yeah. How can I break? There are no rules, so how can I break them?
Yeah. I feel like that's been very
Very
much your antithesis towards art throughout like most of the time that I've known you. Hey Cheryl, do you want to hold yours up?
No.
Okay,
Cool.
look at that.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
Like that.
Yeah. I decided I wanted to throw some
Yeah.
orange into mine. So that's what it'll look like eventually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, different, eh? I feel it kind of looks like you'd probably see this in like an A&W or something. It's got kind of a corporate look to it.
All I ever see in A&W is milkshakes and mama burgers.
Oh yeah. I like how they all turned out so different yet again. That's really my favorite part about doing this.
And because you've done the background on some, I'm thinking that I would like to do that on the odd square in here, on the
Ooh.
odd grid thing, kind of have both represented? Because it looks pretty
So
cool.
thank you everyone for coming
Okay.
today, and I hope you come next week.
You betcha.
Thank you.
I really
Bye,
enjoyed
everybody.
doing these with you
See you
guys.
later. See you next week.